I want to welcome everyone tonight to our fall recruitment kickoff and school night presenter training. So the main reason we're talking tonight is fall recruitment kickoff. Yes, we will be recruiting kids this fall, though many people are asking, what is this going to look like? And we want to cover some aspects of that tonight. Unfortunately, with COVID, nobody has an answer as to what's going to happen day to day. So in scouting, we are definitely flexible to everything that comes around. So that's one of the things that we're going to work with here in the professional staff as well as the volunteers. We ask that you work with us because one thing we have to remember is that 2020 is a year filled with challenges. But what does scouting teach youth? How to overcome and adapt. What we have done in the past no longer works. So what that means is we definitely need to come up with a new plan. So with 2020 being a year of unprecedented challenges, there's no escaping the fact that we cannot allow those challenges to prevent us from having the kind of impact we all know scouting has on the lives of a growing number of young people in the communities we serve. Each of these challenges can be faced and met. COVID-19 has temporarily changed the way scouting activities are conducted, but it hasn't prevented youth from having meaningful and fun experiences with their friends like it has in many other youth-serving organizations. That's a testament to the dedication, ingenuity, and can-do spirit of our amazing volunteers. Regardless of what happens with schools this fall, we have the means at our disposal to ensure the next generation of scouts hear positive messages about scouting and are invited to join in a meaningful way in which we can overcome the tide of negative publicity and we are likely to encounter as we embark on our recruitment campaign. So that goes into talking about we need a new plan. Now, our goal this year is to recruit 1,500 youth this fall, and that's Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, and venturing. On average, that's only about 300 kids per district, but this is where we will need the unit's help. Now, in the past, school access has been open to us. The district executive calls a school, we schedule the school talk and the sign-up night where we have the unit leaders come help volunteer with the sign-up night, collect applications and the money. But now there is a new normal. School reentry plans differ between schools and communities. Some schools are starting mid-August. Some schools are starting late August. Some schools have not even decided when they will be starting this fall. Each school has come up with a reentry plan, and we have been going over those to find out how scouting can work with these schools to spread the word of what scouting is and about and give these youth an opportunity to join, but doing in a safe manner while we're keeping in mind all of the different policies that these school districts have. So the one thing it boils down to is the school relationships. So we like to look at this as district executives versus unit leaders. Now, as a professional, we call these schools maybe once or twice a year, usually to set up times to talk about scouting when we can come in and recruit the kids. But unit leaders, as parents, you guys are in these schools day after day, talking to teachers, talking to the PTA, talking to the principals. These school administrations, they know you better than they know us. And this is where we're going to rely on your help this year with fall recruitment. Now, in 2020, think of it as those old choose your own adventure books, where you decide which way the hero is going to go and how they handle situations. This is the way fall recruitment is going. New plans, new ideas, new you, new youth, new leaders. You are in control of your recruitment plan. We know one recruitment plan is not going to work for the entire council. Recruitment efforts in Owasso and Claremore are going to be vastly different than recruitment efforts we have in Poto or Wilburton or even Tulsa. This is where we need the units to help us come up with a plan that works best for your school, your units, and your leaders. Now, we have 4 different plans that we can mix and match with, and we're going to go through those different things right now. So for Plan A, access to schools, how we can help you. We can give you recruitment flyers, recruitment stickers, posters for display in schools. We'll secure the access date, time, location, display yard signs, post recruitment videos, and the DEs will run the sign-up night. This is our traditional recruitment plan, what we have done year after year. And again, how you can help us, I'm sure you guys have seen this in the past. We've asked you to help secure those rally date time locations, have pack leaders on hand, secure new youth applications and joining fees for youth and adults. One new thing we're talking about this year is posting recruitment videos on the PAC social media pages, as well as displaying yard signs on property of the members and leaders and you guys to help promote scouting in your communities, as well as invite Cub Scout friends and their families to our Try Scouting On for the Day events this fall, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Plan B, bring a buddy. We may not have great access to schools, and this is where we're going to work in a collaboration between the existing Cub Scout packs and members and the professional staff. This is where we will make sure that all packs have materials for Cub Scouts and their families, flyers, electronic postcards, downloadable graphics for social media. Again, recruitment videos on school social media sites. Meet with the Cub Scout packs to develop their plan for recruiting, leading to a recruitment meeting, as well as come up with incentives for Cub Scouts to bring a buddy to join Cub Scouts. For example, what if you throw a cream pie in a Cub leader's face? In the Cub Scout pack I'm in my daughter, 965, every year for the Back to the Pack meeting, we sign up for popcorn. And if a scout signs up for more than a certain amount, they get to pick a den leader they want to throw a pie in the face of. Most of the time, it's our Cub Master. Sorry, Bill, you do take a lot of pies there. But last year, my daughter wanted to throw a pie in my face. The kids get so excited over something so small. Little things like this to say, hey, if you bring a buddy to the next meeting, you'll be able to throw a pie in your leader's face. And again, we'll have a DE on hand to sign up, to help with the sign-up night as needed. So the Bring a Buddy is really going to come down to the units doing more grassroots movement, kids talking to kids to join scouting, parents talking to parents to join scouting, whether it's in school or in your neighborhoods or on social media, on Nextdoor, Facebook, Instagram, the TikTok, whatever you use as a pack to help promote scouting, that's going to be up to you guys to say, this is how we want to recruit. Now, how you can help us as a pack is agreeing on that recruitment plan for all Cub Scouts to bring one new friend to join their pack. So if you have 60 kids in your pack, but only 20 new members join, that's huge. That's not quite 50%, but whenever are you going to have 20 new members at one point in time join that school through a traditional pack recruitment through the schools? Sure, some packs can do that, but not everyone can. This is where you would help us secure to say, we're going to have a rally date time location for individual Cub Scout packs. It may not be at the school. It may be at a church. It may be in a park. It may be in a school's parking lot where we set up pop-up tents and have a tailgating party all about scouting. Firehouses, that's another one if we don't have access to them. Again, displaying yard signs on the property of those Cub Scout members, kids and parents to help show, if you want to join Scouts, this is how. Recruitment videos, you're going to see a lot of duplication on some of these. Pack leaders on hand, new youth applications and adult, Cub Scout friends, and enjoying Try Scouting On for the Day. For something like this, Scouts and their buddy will also be able to attend the fall events, will be able to participate in the Dunk Tank Challenge to dunk a Scout leader. Could be a Scout leader, could be a professional, doesn't really matter. We will have someone in the dunk tank so these kids can throw a ball and hit the dunk tank. And I'm not going to lie, if they're not a great shot, we may or may not, probably will have a staff member right next to it hitting that button just so we can see that Scout leader get dunked. Plan C, contact less. So we cannot get into the schools whatsoever. They will not let us in to talk to kids. We can't even get past the front door. That may be the way it goes this year, but we are looking for ways to work around this. We're going to work with these school principals to see if they'll allow us to do a video recruitment and flyer distribution through school's digital flyer distribution platform. So if we give the principal a thumb drive and say, hey, this is the recruitment video. It's 90 seconds that we'd like every class to watch. And these are the flyers to go around with it. That way we're not in face-to-face with these kids, but we can still do some sort of video recruitment, whether it's a stock one we get from our national office that's great, has a lot of great ideas, or if it's one that we make with the local executives here talking about what we get to do in scouting to get the kids a little bit more excited, ways that we can work with these schools to show videos. That way we're not there, as well as have the flyers that they can hand out if possible. We understand not all schools are going to allow us even to send paper flyers home. It may just all be digital, but at least we'll be able to give them a date, time, and location to join Cub Scouts. Again, posters, we really think we'll still be able to put posters up, display yard signs, post on the recruitment video, as well as the DEs for the sign-up night. Again, how you units can help us. Secure rally date, time, locations. Again, alternate locations. Bring in the applications, social media. We can't express that enough that social media and digital is going to be the way to go this year. Plan D is, dang it, none of those plans are going to work for me. We just get stonewalled by the school. They're not going to allow us to pass out paper flyers. They're not going to let us show a video. Again, there's still ways we can do that. We can still work with the school social media site. We can even potentially have a virtual sign-up night via Zoom from the DE. That way, if we send a flyer home via digital to say, hey guys, if you want to sign up in the Claremore community, regardless of what elementary school you go to, come to this link and we'll have a professional there talk to you about scouting, as well as talk to you about where scouting exists in your local communities. We'll have a links resource page there to utilize digital 918 Scout resources to help build your PAX recruitment. Now, the page is not up and running yet, but this is something that myself, the professional staff, and Emily, our marketing director, is working to put up, as well as mix and match elements from any of the other plan to build your PAX recruitment. And again, this is going to be up to you guys to develop a recruitment plan for your Cub Scout PAX. Whatever works for you guys, make it happen. Plan a community service project for your Cub Scout PAX and invite friends to join in. Take the time to recruit new members. If you have any ideas, talk to your district executive and say, we've always wanted to do this, or we do this little Cub Scout fair with our friends and families at our school, and we've always had a great turnout. Is this something we can do district-wide? Anything really that we have to make us work, to allow us to get in front of these kids. I cannot stress enough that we need the unit's help to make this happen. You are in charge of your recruitment. We will be there every step of the way to help you, whatever you need, but we are really depending on making this a grassroots movement for recruiting Cub Scouts this year. Now, other resources that we're going to have available. I know some people may have some questions about that. We'll talk about social media. We've got flyer templates, postcard templates, post templates. So if you want us to write to say, post this on your social media page and just fill in date, time, location, and contact information, we can give that to you. We've got pictures and videos that you can post on your Facebook page to get kids interested. If you want physical handouts to go to your churches, to go to your sports teams, to go to your service, civic service organizations, to talk about scouting, we can make you those flyers, those postcards, those yard signs. Now, a little bit later on in August, as of August 13th, the National Office for the Boy Scouts of America are going to come out with a new Cub Scouting program. This is to work with Cub Scouting now. This is not to replace Cub Scouting, but a virtual Cub Scout program. We know there are some families out there that may be at a high risk for COVID, and we want them to stay safe. So we are developing a plan for those families to continue do scouting virtually so that those kids can still work on the requirements. They can still do the same things that every scout in a den will do. They'll just do it in the safety of their home with their parents due to their compromised systems, why they can't go out to do that. We will have more information about that coming out a little bit later. We'll see a big launch on that coming out August 13th. Now, because we're talking about fall recruitment, yes, we're going to go out there and find a way to get those kids. But the one things that makes it happen are sign-up nights. Regardless of whether we are able to get into schools and talk to kids, whether it's a bring a buddy, whether it's a video, whether it's social media, we need your help to plan and secure a sign-up night location so that we can make this happen. And again, as you can see in this picture, maximum effort. We are all in this together like a team playing tug of war. That little kid in the front, his face cracks me up every time. You can just see that intense thought of his saying, we're going to make this happen. That's what we're going to do as a team in each district. So the purpose of the sign-up nights are to enroll the prospective Lions, Tiger Cubs, Cub Scouts into existing packs. And we do this also to enlist parents to participate in the program as registered leaders. We know that we need two things to keep scouting alive in your local units: new kids and new parents. The major way we're going to make this happen is for sign-up night. So this is one of the main reasons we have a sign-up night, is to make sure you have more leaders, more parents coming in to help run those programs year after year. What plan are we going to do it? Mix and match. Plan your own adventure. We just went through all the different plans above. That's how we're going to do this. We're going to work with you, and you're going to tell us, we want to try part of plan B, a part of plan C, maybe a little bit of plan D, and we're going to make it all together. And that's fine. Let's make it happen. Now, the school night presenter will be in charge of the following program. All right. So whether this is a volunteer such as yourself helping run the sign-up night for your unit, or whether this is a professional who's coming out to help you run it. Again, we're going to have sign-in sheets to be filled out by the parents as they arrive. That gives us, everyone who's there that night, whether they turn an application in or not, we collect their information so we can go to them afterwards. We talk about the scouting information, including parental responsibility and how to get signed up. Usually during this night, the best way we found to do it is break those kids up already by den so they know who they will be with, that all third graders will be together, all first graders will be together, so they can look around the room and say, oh, there's Billy, he's in my class, he's in scouting, I know him. Or you look around and say, oh, they're the Perkins, they go to church with us. I didn't realize they were interested in scouting. We're going to have a great time. All packs are encouraged to have a follow-up orientation meeting within a week of the school night. It's mandatory for new packs. This new parent orientation really gives those parents a sense of, this is what scouting is, and this is what our pack's expectations are of you, right? We're the Boy Scouts of America. We're not the babysitters of America. We need parents to stay and help with their kids, because we all know kids get more excited about whatever they're doing when they have someone they can turn to and say, look what I did. They want that instant recognition. That's what we get when those parents stay active with those scouts throughout the year and attend scouting functions within the pack, whether it's pack meetings or den meetings. And of course, we're going to offer training courses throughout the fall for new and untrained leaders. Each district will be hosting a variety of different trainings in person to train those new leaders on how to be a leader and how to be a better leader so they understand what's happening. Now, many people think that after the sign-up night, whoever comes, and those are the new kids. No, there's follow-up. There's things you have to do. Unit leaders will collect all application fees and the rosters that night, and then they'll bring those applications and fees to the Scout Resource Center the next day, or if your professional is there that night, go ahead and hand it off to them. Here's a check and all the applications. Congratulations, you now have everything you need. Unit copies, we will leave with the unit leader until after the proper signatures and fees are secured, if that needs to happen. Now, we know with the new Scout applications, they're no longer a carbon form. It's now just one form. And that's where usually we'll go ahead and take that form with us as a professional and leave you guys with a copy of the den roster. That way you still have all that information. If you need to write down on there who paid, who didn't pay, follow up with. But that way we'll go ahead and be in charge of those applications. We all know in scouting that after a night, you put them in a folder and you put them in your car and that falls out of your bag and then it rolls around and it slides under a seat. And then it takes you 2 weeks to find it. Yes, I'm not going to lie, that has happened to me. We want to make sure that these applications are getting to the office so that we can go ahead and process them, and then we'll work with you. But after that, if there's still people who have not turned out an application, because we know that does happen, you've got the roster forms. Give those parents a call and say, hey, our next PAC meeting is coming up next Tuesday. We'd love for you to join us. Here's the date, time, location. If they don't show, that's okay. Give them a call and email again. Invite them to the next den meetings. Try to do whatever it takes to get them involved. If after a couple of months they're not going to show up, well, we've done our due diligence, but still have someone try to reach out to them every so often to get them involved. Now, this is where we need your help. In July and August is the time where we're going to be contacting principals, and we need your help to do this. Some principals we've talked to, they said, yeah, scouting is great. We'll work with you guys as soon as we find out what our day's going to look like. And other principals are like, we can't think about that because we don't even know how we're going to get the kids in the doors at this time. But again, this comes down to the relationships that you have built with these schools over the years to help us get started. Choose your plan with your PAC. A, B, C, D, all of them. Help us get that started. Work with your district executive. Secure a meeting location. If you can't do it at your school, you can't do it at your church, let's start looking around to find out where we can do it. Find other volunteers in your unit to help be there those sign-up nights so that you're not doing it alone. The more volunteers that you have to help out, the more those parents, new parents, are going to feel comfortable by seeing what is there. You want copies made of materials for school nights and flyers? We've got you. Let us know how many you want and what they want, what you want us to put on them. We'll do that for you. We'll go ahead, place those posters, hand out those flyers, as well as promoting the Fall Cub family events. Now, we will have 2 Try It On for Scouting days. One goes from October 9th to the 10th, and the other from October 23rd to the 24th. Briefly about those events, these are events where a brand new scout and their parent can come out to camp, spend one night camping with us, and spend the next morning doing activities of whatever variety we have: BB guns, bows and arrows, dunk tank, anything that fishing. These are the things that kids want to do right away. This is how we get them in the door to say, these are things we get to do in scouting. By giving them an opportunity to do this within the first 30 to 60 days, we have seen the fact that they will stick around for even longer after that if we can prove to them that scouting is fun. This is open to both brand new scouts and families, as well as existing scouts and families. So we will have more information about this on August 4th when we have our fall program kickoff. So if you have not signed up for that, keep an eye out for the email and social media to come out. We'll be posting it so that you can sign up. And again, if you want to do it in person, great. If you want to do it via Zoom, we'll have that option as well so that you can find out about what's coming up: popcorn, fall program events, training, things like that. So make sure you stay tuned. September and October, that's game time. That is when we are in those schools. We are recruiting kids. Scout talks and sign-up nights, trainings are happening, youth out and adult membership is flying into the office, follow up, and please don't forget that we have these fall Cub Scout events. We will be talking about these with the parents at sign-up nights and let them know what's happening, but we also need your help to tell the rest of the pack that these are happening and they can attend as well. Again, more information will be coming out of those on our August 4th meeting. All right, so that is essentially our School Night for Scouting Council presenter training. So if you're a volunteer and you're like, you know what, I can run that meeting, I can talk to those parents, I can do all of this, fantastic. We would love for you to do that. That helps us reach out to some of these other smaller packs that may have just started that need a little bit more help and resource. Now, of course, we just briefly touched upon this topic. Your district executive will sit down with you and make sure you have everything you need. We will be using our crates again, where inside of it, we've got our folders that have applications and what is a new leader and pens and more applications. And the one thing they're doing away with is the mini magazines to help with promotion. We have some of those and we're going to use those until we run out. So the sooner your pack does one, the sooner they get those mini mags that they can hand out to the boys, the meeting of, and girls, mind you, now that we're in that point of scouting, so that they can see what the Boys Life magazine is all about and whether they want to sign up for it. Now, one thing, again, as we do every year, we will have a parent's guide. In this parent's guide will be in-depth information that a parent can go through and read that talks about a little bit more each of those different topics you're going to be covering in depth. But we wanted to show you just a quick teaser of what's happening with this. So front page here, you can see. Now this, again, is still under revision. We're working on this. Unfortunately, Emily, our marketing director, had to take some personal leave for a family emergency. So we're still in the process of making this happen. But we just wanted to show you some of the things. Now, in the past, we've used some of those flip charts. We all know if you used a flip chart, those flip charts and those tripod stands don't really work together. So we're going to put some of these flip chart pictures in the front of the parents' guide so that you can go through that first, and then they can go through all the other information after the meeting. But we want to cover some things with those parents tonight to make sure they understand what Cub Scouts are. So some of these, again, these are the most relevant information that we can talk about for new parents and new kids to understand what the basics are. So we talk about the basics, ranks, grades, DENS, fantastic. Program structure. We talk about the activities. Again, spend some time talking about the things that kids want to do. This is what really gets those kids interested. We know, because we've been in this program long enough, that if a parent is coming to a sign-up night, a rally night, 90% of the time, they're already sold on the Cub Scout program. They're just coming to sign up. There's still 10% of the time where we do hear well, I have to talk with my wife about it. That's right. You better talk to your wife. I understand how that works. But other times it's, okay, I forgot to bring my checkbook. I'm going to sign up later. Or we need to talk to grandparents because they're the ones who may be bringing them. That's fine. But this just shows the kids as well as the parents the fun things that we get to do. The advancement trail. We need to talk about advancement so they understand Scout Oath and Law, Cub Scout motto, and a lot of those things you can do right there in the middle of the meeting. I will do the Cub Scout sign, salute, and handshake with those kids during that sign-up night, so they're already on their way to the Bobcat. So things like that, so they understand what the advancement is in Cub Scouts. Now, we can't do this without volunteers such as yourselves. So we always want to make sure we show the structure of scouting, how a pack is set up, who reports to who, where the den leaders are, what the pack committee does. This is your opportunity to talk about each of those positions, what the Cub Master is, what the committee chair is, what the den leaders do. And now's the time to recruit those den leaders, as well as more information, such as training you can do online on my.scouting. Now, the one thing everyone's going to always ask is, how much does scouting cost? We've seen a lot of information come out over the last 6 months about changes coming to the fee structure. So that's one of those things that we want to go ahead and put that information out there. We want parents to see what the national registration fee is as it's prorated, the program and insurance fee, and the fact that this year there is a new member fee for all new youth joining the program. This is just for youth, not for adults. But if a youth has been in the scouting program at any point in their past or history, say they joined as a lion, but took a break for tigers and wolves, but came back as a bear, they will not need to pay that $25 new member fee. Some parents are going to say, I don't remember, we may have done this. That's fine. We'll work it out, and my staff will be ready and willing to take those applications back to the office and look that up to make sure that if you have been registered before, that you don't need to pay that new member fee. But some people may say, that may be a little steep for us. I'll tell you what, we have a donor who has decided that he will pay for the first 1,000 youth to sign up for scouting for their new member fee. Thank you to Frank and Ludmilla Robson. We now have the funds available for us. So the first 1,000 youth to sign up for scouting this fall, they will pay their new member fee. Those families do not need to pay that fee. We go ahead and strike it off there. What better incentive to say, hey, normally there's a new member fee, but I'll tell you what, scouting is so great in this community that we have a donor who's willing to pay that for all of your scouts here that night. So you do not need to pay that $25 new member fee. That's fantastic. Thank you again to Frank and Ludmilla Robson for helping us give scouting, all these youth, an opportunity to join scouting in their local communities. Now, the other thing we need to make sure we go over that night is the application. They need to fill out an application, even if they're not sure of joining, even if they have to go back and ask a parent, have them fill out an application so we have their contact name and information to get a hold of them in the future. Do not let them leave without filling it out. Short of barring those doors, having someone stand in front of it like a bouncer and say, you can't leave until you fill this out, we all know majority of those parents there that night are going to fill it out before they leave. Most parents have it filled out before the meeting even starts. So this is one thing we need to make sure we tell them, hey, please turn this in, even if you're not sure about joining, just so we can invite you to all our future events. All right, now, that is a lot of what we're going to touch base on, and I know there may be some questions coming through. So I'm going to take a time to go through the chat and see what questions I still need to answer. Now, something else that I think we do need to talk about is year-round recruitment. Recruitment for scouting does not just take place in the fall. Recruitment takes place all year round. Just because this is the major opportunity we have to talk to scouts in the fall doesn't mean that you as units and volunteers need to only do it during the fall. There are plenty of times that you can do it throughout the rest of the year. Whether you want to go into a school or you want to do other things, talk to your district executive. They are more than happy to go into a school in March or April and hand out flyers and recruit kids. You can do this without us if you'd like to. If you want to hold a Scout Carnival night and invite kids from school or your neighborhood to do things like that, let us know. We'll give you the paperwork, the applications that you need for the parents and kids there that night. But other ways you can do this is community awareness. Set up booths at farmers markets, parades, your churches and social organizations. Most churches have a youth group or a Sunday school. Set up flyers or postcards so that parents and kids can see what scouting is about and they can join you all throughout the year. Talk to your PTAs. They're constantly sending things home for kids to do throughout the year. Find a way to get involved, whether you're on the PTA or there's someone in your pack that's on the PTA. Have them make a shameless plug for scouting. Have your Cub Scout pack do a flag ceremony for a PTA meeting. We do it for a lot of the boards of educations. There's nothing to say you can't do it for a PTA meeting. It's a great way to get them involved. Also, youth sports. Many people think, oh, my kid's in sports, he can't do both. No, he can. That's a great opportunity. This is a time for your scout to talk to the other players on his team about scouting. Get out there and get those scout athletes on the field and have them pitch for scouting. Talk to those other parents that you're sitting next to. You drive to these games with them. You know them very well. Tell them about scouting and what it has to offer. But don't also forget, we have beascout.org. So make sure that you go in and turn your PIN on via the PIN administration under your organization manager. So that way, if anyone has questions and they look it up and say, my kid goes to this school, what's close? Oh, there's a Cub Scout pack. You can, one, not only put contact information on who they can get a hold of, but they can even start the application process online. And that way we can work with them as we go through the process about how to get signed up. All right, now, one thing I will need to do is go ahead and turn off the screen sharing so that I can see the chat. Oh, no, never mind. I found it right there. Fantastic, even better. Okay, so let's go through some of these questions. When and where can we find the recording of this presentation later? Fantastic, I see you guys have already started talking about that. We'll find a way to put it on our website, so that way if you or people missed it, there's ways for you to be able to get on there and provide this to other people. Let's see here. going through a lot of questions already answered. A lot of people saying, great, $25 joining fee is covered. That's awesome. What's your turnaround time on getting flyers? Yep, 1 week is what we would need to make sure we get those to you guys. But please, if you're making sure you've got those taken care of, so that way all the new information is on there. So that way we don't have to come back to you and say, this is what we need. What we can do is we're putting together a template to say, if you would like a flyer, here's the information that we're asking for. You guys would fill that out, and then you would go ahead and turn that into your district executive. Give us a week. We'll get that turned around and get sent back out to you. All right. Will there be any social media geofencing, advertising, or all based on networks? We're working with the national office on that one right now. There is actually, I think it's the next membership or a webinar they're doing, or one of the ones past, they talked about that. We've got to get some more information. In the past, they have helped with that. So again, it would be getting that information to us and let us know how far you want to broadcast so that we can do that. But so that we're not duplicating efforts, we will work with our national office on that one. So we'll go ahead and follow up on that one. Tracy, thank you so much. I'm going to write that down right now. Writing it down, geofencing, to make sure we get that taken care of in the future. We probably won't have a new template, but we'll make some changes to it as we do year after year to make it going. All right. Other questions that have come through. Can they still use the old application if they have it? Yes. Yes, you can. The information on the old application and the new application is the same thing. There's minor word differences, but for youth, that is mostly the same. I would highly recommend that you use the new adult applications because it has the new form on the back page. Whereas everyone remembers last recharter season, we had to fill out an additional disclosure form. The new adult applications has that new disclosure form on it. So that way they would not need to fill out a second one as we go through. We can go ahead and get that taken care of for you guys. Let's see here. Ghost patch for recruiting. If you have some scouts that still looking for that ghost patch, we still have some available. We will be able to use those until we run out. We're in the process of taking an inventory on how many we have left. But we'll work with your district executives to find out exactly how many we have. So that way they'll have a handful of those. So if those kids bring in a new buddy and they pay that meeting, they can hand that patch out that night. Otherwise, we'll find a way to get it handed out to those unit leaders. Can you talk about the joining cost and then recharter cost 2 months later? Sorry about that one. Shane, you're going to have to give me a little bit more information. I know you guys don't have a microphone there as to what that means. I know for the joining costs, we'll go ahead and go back to the page that has the fees on it. So that talks about what it is prorated per month. You'll see what the registration page is, and then what the total is, and then recharter costs 2 months later. Again, to recharter for scouting, you can see on this page, it's a total of $108 per scout for the year. Now, that does not cover PAC fees. That's an opportunity for you guys to talk to the parents about what that is. Now, some people ask, well, what's the difference between the registration fee as well as the program fee to make sure those things are happening? Okay, thank you, Shane, for that one. So yes, unfortunately, with the way scouting is today, to join in August, there is a $70 fee to join, and then come the recharter time, they'll pay the $108 for the entire year. One thing that we do have to remind families is scouting is going up. Unfortunately, the national fee is only $550 a month, and the program fee is $350. So really, it's about $9 per month for a total year of scouting. Now that $70 on there includes the new member fee. So if we get that taken off for the first 1,000 kids, you're actually going to be paying, instead of $70 with the new member fee, you're going to be paying more like $45 to get through August through the end of the year. And that's one of those things that we can tell parents the night of to kind of feel like we're giving them a break, almost to say, but as a way for them to say, okay, usually it's this much. But because we have a donor doing this, it's only going to cost this to you guys tonight. I wanted to go ahead and put that $25 new member fee in that total cost, just because we actually had this infographic planned out before Frank and Ludmilla came across and say, hey, we want to pay for this. So that's something we can definitely take a look at when we finalize everything. But once we hit that $1,000 mark, that new member fee will still be a part of that fee for those scouts to join. The patch for recruiting, yes. There is a ghost patch that we have used in the years. It is a council strip patch that is ghosted, so it's blue background on blue thread that we have used as the Bring a Buddy campaign in the past. We have a handful of those patches still left, so we will use those until we run out. Unfortunately, when we run out, it's one of those things that's kind of where we're at. If we have a high demand for kids, if we have 700 kids recruiting other scouts to come in, I'm sure we'll find a way to get some new patches for those. What is the cost for a full academic year? I have parents who want to pay from August to May, not just for 2020. Unfortunately, we don't separate the cost for a full academic year. When you sign up for scouting during the recharter period, you sign up for a full 12 months. We don't offer just partial registration fees to go from August to May. So that's what we do. Because we prorate through the year, we can go August to December, but during that recharter phase, we have to pay that full $108 a year on that one. So that's one of those things that we do have to ask for. Unfortunately, that's set up by the national organization with the way that we make sure everyone is covered under insurance policies. Health insurance and liability insurance is we can't pick and choose. We have to cover them the entire year of scouting. Again, because we do a recharter in December of every year, that is when we pay the $108. We cannot do August to August. If they wanted to pay the August to December, so August of 2020 through December of 2021, they would pay the $45 to join plus $108. So they would be paying $153 to go from August of 2020 to December of 2021. Again, because of the insurance, the way those policies run, we cannot do from August to August. It has to go from January to December and then prorate throughout the year. Great questions tonight. Anyone has anyone else, please feel free to go ahead and write it in chat. We'll get those answered. Otherwise, thank you for joining tonight. Do appreciate everyone signing on, giving us a chance to talk to you guys about fall recruitment. We're excited to work with you guys to see what plans you come up with and how you want to utilize scouting recruitment this fall. My staff is going to be willing to work with you guys every step of the way to make sure everything happens for you guys. Again, thank you so much for coming. We're going to go ahead and wind down now. We're right at the 50-minute mark. I apologize. A few minutes later than I was hoping to get everyone out, but that's great. If you have any further questions about this, please feel free to contact your district executive. You can email them or call them, or you can email or call myself here at the office. And I'll go ahead and post my email in chat. It's mgullion@okscouts.org. So if you have any further questions about membership, about fees, about anything happening, something you guys are thinking about doing in your district, feel free to work with us to get this done. The August meeting is we're actually going to be talking about more of the upcoming activities and changes that's happening this year. Changes in popcorn, changes in the fall program events. That's more an opportunity for us to talk about what program events are happening. This meeting is more about the recruitment strategies we have and the help we need you guys to do this. Now, Tracy, I know your guys' pack is very strong. You guys do a lot of that stuff, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for taking that leadership. Not all packs have the same strong leadership that you guys have. So we want to make sure they have an opportunity to learn about fall recruitment as well as about what's happening with the other program events this fall. Stephanie, thank you for the question. Popcorn should be discussed now. I'm going to leave that to our popcorn team. They're putting together the rest of the details for popcorn this fall. So look to see some information coming on that one tonight. Coming out on that in the next couple weeks. We will have our popcorn kickoff on August 19th. So have that in your calendars. We're going to be talking about more of the changes and things like that coming up, but there will be more information coming out about popcorn. We just want to make sure we have as much information ready as possible so that we're not just piecemealing all the information out, but we have it ready to go out at the same time. So thank you again, Stephanie, for that. But I will let the popcorn team handle that one at a future date. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Take order flyers are ready for any unit to pick up and distribute. Awesome. My guess is they can talk to their district executive or Paige here at the office, and we can find a way to get those take order forms sent out to you, as well as being mailed out next week to all scouts. Look at you guys. I mean, it's like you guys have done this before. Popcorn, the lifeblood of scouting. It's the butter, the blood that runs through scouts' veins tastes like butter. Popcorn. I know that's really cheesy. Cheesy popcorn. Sorry, I'm going to roll tonight. Man, dad jokes. Dad jokes get me every time. Someone needs to submit that to Boys Life, some of these jokes we're going with tonight. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you have any further questions, please talk to your district executive, or you can go ahead and email me. Trails Ed representative will be on site August 19th. Fantastic. I know many times in popcorn you guys ask, well, why is this happening? We'll have someone there to answer those questions.